bar's got that swing. Glasses clink, hear the ice cubes sing. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for the day. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Well, welcome. Yeah, there is a missync right now between Evie Mux and what's playing out to you guys. So I'm actually working off of the delayed 30-second deal. I don't know what's going on with Evie Mux. It's very frustrating. Had a lot of problems last night on Geeky Geezers, but we'll just plug through. What do you expect from a premiere episode? Vasalud, welcome everyone. So glad you could make it. I'm actually surprised by how many people were able to make it this afternoon for Liquid Lunch with Last Call. Let's shout out everybody who's here, and I'm gonna definitely need a. Let me know if the sound's coming through. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, it's not even showing me everybody because I know I said hi to some people at the very beginning. They seem to have fallen off because I said hi to Netters Network very early on in the beginning, and I know she's still here. And hail to JPRPH1. That comment seems to have fallen off. But the one that did not is Pops, who's stopping in because he's saying this fits his schedule. Well, good. I'm glad you're able to make it. We'll keep it down to 1 hour because we only usually get 1 hour for lunch. Am I right? And Curtis Selby, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. I can be here for a bit. Eating his own lunch. That's the whole idea here. And Orville Nation, PJ, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Having an afternoon show means I'm able to see some faces I can't usually see on Friday nights. Like this one I'm seeing here, Colleen, saying hello to everyone. So glad you're here. So glad you were able to catch up on that last Friday stream. I know you had wanted to see that. Let's see, and saying hi to each other. That's always super, super encouraging. What do you have to say here, Pops? You're saying celebrate 10 months. Oh, you have been such a supporter of the channel, Pops. I super appreciate that. And Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube, welcome, welcome. Oh, she's over on the Rumble. Good, good. Thank you so much. And let's see here. Who else we got? Let's get caught up here. BJ over at Orville Nation, dropping the emojis. Good to catch you live. You too. Well, let's get into it. I did not. I will going forward probably be planning some topics and whatnot. I do have one in the hopper ready to go, but I didn't want to bring that out first day. It's a little ranty. I kind of gave a little sneak peek of that last night on Geeky Geezers. I'll save that maybe for tomorrow, or probably tomorrow, but maybe Wednesday. Today, we're just going to take it casually and just see how it goes. Give me a second here. Normally never had the opportunity to do this before, but I think I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to do an unboxing on camera because I just got some things in today from the post, and you can see what we got here. I know by the shape of this box and the size of it that this comes from Tungori, so this is going to be some action figures. I've actually got two of these, so whether there's one or more in here, I will, doesn't matter because I have at least two boxes. Let's see what we got here. All righty. Okay, so it is two figures. It is, and I forget the names of these figures. This one is an R2 unit with so I guess this would be an R3 droid. R3 is the one with the clear dome. Need this for the exterior of the cantina when it comes. And I have absolutely zero idea what this figure is. It's a Darth something or other. I believe it's from the EU, but he's probably going to end up becoming a kit bash in the very, very near future. So let's see what I got here. Give me a second. Old eyes can't see where the opening is. There we go. How you all doing today? And what you sipping on, too? Doesn't have to be alcoholic if you feel that you have to get back to work later on and be able to function. I do remember the days when a liquid lunch was probably an adult beverage. You had to keep up with the boss. Those might have been the Mad Men days. Oh, it's the same Darth figure. There we go. And this one is not from Tungori. This one is from Hasbro. Man, that label's all beat to heck. It is an action figure. Get out of here. It is... Oh, what's his name? It is Balin Skoll from the I don't even know what show this is. Oh, from Ahsoka. This figure combined with that figure is going to become the custom figure that I'm working probably related to my old Star Wars RPG. So these are not characters you would recognize right off the bat. Very much like Netter's custom R2 R0 droid that I made for her. That was from our role-playing game. She says, I'm sipping on a Netter special, cranberry grape juice, and Rockstar energy drink. Yeah, there you go. Good. Water and coffee for me. Are those separate? I hope you haven't like diluted your coffee. That would be bad. Yep, already had that one up. Wait. Finally got that charcoal Santa sent you for Christmas. Yes, that's exactly right. That is exactly right. Let's see. Yep, very cool. Yeah. Let me tell you, however, about one package I will not be opening. Probably not going to be ordering very much from Hasbro ever again. I am really not happy. So I don't know if you guys know how Hasbro works, but it's almost impossible to find Hasbro Star Wars related toys in the wild. You go and you find a bunch of crap figures that nobody wants that will sit there for a while, and in a couple months they'll end up over in Ollie's, for liquidation, and then no one buys them there. The stuff that people actually want, they buy directly from Hasbro Pulse. HasbroPulse.com. Absolutely not a sponsored stream, and it definitely won't be a sponsored stream if they ever see this. So, you go to Hasbro. Yesterday was some big Star Wars day because of word puns. It has nothing to do with Star Wars, but people have decided that's a thing, so it's a thing now. And so they made a bunch of announcements of pre-orders. Give me a second. I'll get to the rant about pre-orders, but let me even put my whole story on hold because I do want to say hi to David Pensack, who just jumped into the chat here, and Joe's Atmosphere. Liked and shared. Oh, thank you so much. I super appreciate. Yes, please get this out because if this stream does well, I am planning to do this every day this week. So I hope to see you all back. I'm not ending the stream. I'm just, giving you, letting you know what I'm planning here. And if it does really well, we'll just keep going. We'll keep going from here. But what was it? James Earl Jones spoke at your college graduation and said, "May the force be with you," even if he didn't say it in the movies. Oh, yeah. No, the idea of "May the force be with you," that saying is perfectly cool, but May the 4th, it's a contrived pun. Star Wars Day is the day, the anniversary of when Star Wars was released, in my opinion, and for most real diehard Star Wars fans. But Hasbro is focusing on May the 4th. So anyway, let me get back to my story. Hasbro had a bunch of announcements on May the 3rd to let everyone know what was going to be going up for pre-order. One of the things that they were putting up for pre-order, something I was pretty excited about actually, it's really just a repackage of 4 of their current what are they called, the vintage line of figures, the 3 3/4 inch vintage figures, repainted to be the color scheme of their original releases. What they were was Walrus Man, Snaggletooth, Greedo, and Hammerhead, painted in the style, their current iterations, painted in the style of the original first wave second wave of Star Wars figures release. And that Snaggletooth was painted blue with silver boots to reference the exclusive blue snaggletooth that was only available as a Sears exclusive. And that Sears exclusive included those 4 figures packed in with a cardboard backdrop of the exterior of the cantina. Never had it as a kid, always wanted it. So I was like, that's pretty cool. I think I'm going to order. It was like $63 or something. Like $63 actually ain't bad for 4 figures these days. I'm going to go ahead and get it. So I log in at noon, only to realize that all the stuff that they said was available for pre-order could only be pre-ordered if you were a super special, subscriber to the Hasbro premium service, which gives you nothing except the ability to order before anyone else does. So I'm like, I am not going to spend extra money for that luxury and privilege. So I wait until 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, all the things that, were announced went up, but this one was already sold out. So only their premium subscribers got to order this thing. Tough luck for me. Tough luck for Hasbro, because now I'm not going to get the thing. I'm going to seriously consider whether or not I ever want to order from Hasbro ever again. I am not going to go and spend $120 for it from a scalper on eBay, which I am certain that's who belongs to this premium service. They are all scalpers who go in and buy extras, sell them at double the price to the average schlubs, and I just won't do that. I just absolutely won't. The real Star Wars Day is May the 25th. I always forget, because it doesn't have a nice little pun to go with it, what the Star Wars anniversary is. But yes, thank you so much, Joe's Atmosphere. Yes, it is Nostalgia Bait. But I will say this about that. The little cardboard backdrop was something I always wanted and didn't have as a kid. And for that reason, I mean, let's face it, if it's just the figures, I could repaint the figures I have if I wanted to. Plus I have the original 3, figures and a reproduction of the blue snaggletooth. So I could definitely, I just wanted the cardboard backing. And to be honest with you, if I really, really, really wanted to, I could probably go online, find significant pictures, print it out on cardstock, and make my own. I'm just really kind of pissed at Hasbro, and just felt the need to kind of vent a little bit, But okay, and Deep NSEC is agreeing. I agree too. Yeah, absolutely. I don't. I feel like the whole May the 4th pun is something for marketing and for the normies. And that's fine. I mean, if you enjoy it and whatever. I do remember when Star Wars first came out in the 70s, and this whole thing about May the 4th, or May the Force be with you, was going around. Having grown up Catholic Italian, my mother would say, "Oh, and also with you," like in church, and we'd all get a laugh out of that. I'm kind of surprised that didn't catch on more. So when did Hasbro get the toy rights from Kenner? Is Kenner defunct now? Well, that's an interesting story. Kenner was actually bought by Hasbro. Kenner basically, they kind of ended their run at the end of it was like the mid 90s, I want to say. Well, maybe it was the late 90s. The Power of the Force figures. If you remember, they started putting out new 5 POA figures of Star Wars that were a bit chunky. You had like muscular Luke Skywalker, muscular Arnold Schwarzenegger-esque Han Solo. Chewbacca was like a gorilla. You couldn't even put Han Solo and Chewbacca together in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. They were so bulky. Even Leia was pretty bow-legged. But they were also re-releasing the X-Wing fighter, the TIE fighter, the Millennium Falcon, the Land Speeder. They were re-releasing the original Kenner molds without electronics and usually a little bit better put together, a little bit better schemes and whatnot. But right after that, they kind of were losing market share. We're going out of business, and were bought up by Hasbro. So Hasbro literally bought Kenner. They now own everything Kenner owned, all the licenses and so forth, and the rights to the Kenner logo. So when you buy Hasbro, it still oftentimes has the Kenner logo on it. It's a brand at this point. That's the best, and also with you, especially now that they've changed the response in mass. Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard about that. I think it's and with your spirit now. Yeah. My mother was after me to go to some holy day of obligation service, and we went, and I'm like, I don't even recognize this service anymore. It doesn't really make any sense. But yeah. What did Joe say? I haven't bought any Star Wars figures since I got the Bespin Luke in the early 80s. Coolest outfit he wore, in my opinion. Yeah. You should check out Retro Blasting. Has I think like from 8 years ago, he did a story about the Bespin Luke Skywalker figure and the outfit itself in the movies. And it was during the 90s, that Power of the Force series, that was the first time they put out a Luke Bespin figure. And they started putting out a lot more of those figures that never existed. So I've actually got quite a few of those. And Hasbro is now just catching up with their vintage collection, the higher articulated ones. So they've put out a new Luke Bespin with the hand that gets removed. They've put out a Dagobah with hands that go flat so he can stand on his hands and stuff like that. The first thought, and seeing the thumbnail on this, was, what the crap is Liquid Lunch? Then I thought about it for 5 more seconds. Oh, yeah, this is Troy. It just this is what Troy's talking about. Yeah, exactly. Liquid Lunch. It's an old concept from I guess I could refer to it as the Mad Men days, but you don't have to go all the way back to the 60s and 70s for it. I remember as late as the late 70s, early 80s in the business world, this idea that everyone would close up shop if you worked downtown for lunch, go to the local pub, and it usually wasn't just an hour; it was like 2.5, 3 hours. You'd go and you'd there was an expectation that you would be having as many cocktails as the boss was. You wanted to match him. And then you'd usually go back to the office pretty lubed up, to finish out your day. They always called that a liquid lunch. In fact, it's stories from a newsroom. The whole last call concept, the Canarble wagon, comes from a local radio personality named Jim Johnson. He was a local weather guy here, and on the radio, and he would tell stories about how in back in his day in the newsroom, I think it was in Wisconsin, he said, at the end of the day on like 5 o'clock on Friday, there was one guy who was already 3 sheets to the wind from his liquid lunch. We go, well, time for the Canarble wagon to roll out. And nobody knew what a Canarble wagon was. They kind of figured it was like a bar cart from the context. So the Canarble wagon just became a thing on Fridays during the homeward trip, after 5. They'd roll out the Canarble wagon on WLSAM. And that's where it all started. So I'm like, yep, got to have a liquid lunch if there's going to be a Canarble wagon. Right? Oh, yep, just had that one up. And, you guys are talking to each other. That's always good. Mark Hamill was on the Muppet Show, and everybody said, nice outfit. Who's your tailor? Yeah. I also remember I had, let's see, in the 80s, I'd have been like a preteen, I suppose, roughly. And I remember that there were a lot of my friends who were under the impression that that Mark Hamill actually had a twin brother. Kind of like Linda Hamilton actually has a twin sister that acted as a stand-in for special effects shots in Terminator 2. Because of that Muppet episode, there were some of my friends who believed that Mark Hamill really did have a twin brother. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think that's a gag on the Muppet Show because, well, kids are dumb. They just are. You wouldn't know that from Hollywood, but any parent knows kids are dumb. I'd be rich if I still had all of these toys. Blew up my Millennium Falcon with an M80. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. There's an old poster when I used to hang out on the G.I. Joe boards. 12-inch G.I. Joes in different action poses in like a collage. And across the top it says, "Old soldiers never die. Your mom just threw them away." Oh, gosh. Netter, what are you saying here? Let's call Troy Pacelli. Curtis has been a member for 10 months. Scroll up to the other green comment. Well, I'll have to do that on YouTube because it's getting really difficult for me to read. I'm still having some problems on EVMux. Yes, Curtis Selby. Lunch with my friends. Oh, thank you, Curtis. Yes, that's exactly what my thought was on this. Let me make sure that my YouTube is up to date because, like I said, I'm having a real hard time reading things on EVMux right now. It still shows syncing as though I haven't gone live. If I didn't have YouTube open right now, I wouldn't have known that I'd gone live. It's kind of a mess. Toys and comics. Well, here's another little thing I don't hear enough of the comic commenters talk about these days. There is a belief that and the comic book companies take advantage of you because of this belief. This idea that a first issue of a new magazine, alternate covers, all these other marketing things that they pull to try and get you to buy these comics, especially to get you to speculate on these comics, expecting them to go up in value, not realizing that they're printing them in such great quantities, and everybody now who gets their comics, they keep them in plastic with backer boards, in long boxes, trying to protect them. Yes, things can happen. You can have a flood and lose your comic book collection. It's happened to me, but by and large, people are protecting these comics, and they are not rare. You don't have high value without rarity, or at least a perception of rarity. Why is Action Comics #1 so valuable, going for many thousands, maybe $1 million? Because there's only one or two known to exist. That's why it's rare. Why are all those old comics so rare? Because nobody saved them. When you were a kid and you bought a comic book and you read it, as you were reading it, you couldn't finish it. You'd fold it in half and you'd tuck it in your back pocket. And it would get all banged up and dinged up. And then when you were done reading it, you'd stuff it on a shelf and a bunch of other stuff would get piled on it. And then the war comes and you have all these ads coming at you. Do your part. Recycle to help the war effort. So all the newspapers, all the magazines, and all the comic books got recycled to help with the war effort. Even the comics themselves had the characters, Captain America and Superman, saying, do your part. When you're done reading this, recycle it. So very few are still in good condition to be sold. Something that, you probably would realize if you were to think about it, G.I. Joe, and knowing is half the battle. Yeah, Netter and I do that sometime too. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Did you know that I am credited in a G.I. Joe comic? I'm just going to throw that out there and leave it. Well, Netter knows, of course. She knows the story. Maybe one day I will have an interview on this show and explain the whole story of why I am credited in an issue of G.I. Joe. I just got a big brown box. I'm going to read it. Pardon my profile. I'm going to read it off of here. I just got a big brown box of Bronze and Copper Age comics from a YouTube auction last week. Been loving reading those. Yeah, I was just alluding to a bit of a flood we had here about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, maybe. And I had to move all of my comics out of one area of the basement. Started going through them, replacing ones that had been damaged. Nothing crucial was lost. I was able to replace all. In fact, insurance covered everything that I needed to replace. But I've also been kind of using this as an opportunity to fill in the gaps in my collection. And it's really taken me down memory lane. I started collecting, I want to say, I must have been about 12, 13 years old. I would go with my grandmother on Wednesdays. I used to spend my summers in Ohio. My uncle owned a marina in Mansfield, Ohio. My grandmother and grandfather lived there, and my grandfather ran the bait shop downstairs, and my grandmother ran the lunch counter. Wednesdays was their day off, so I would go out with Grandma to go. She had a morning hairdresser appointment. I'd go with her. She would take me to the little shop next door and get me a sweet roll for breakfast and a comic book. My very first comic was like issue 4 or 5 or so of the Daring New Adventures of Supergirl. This was a magazine rack. This wasn't a comic book shop. So I didn't have the opportunity to get back issues back then. It wasn't until a comic book store opened in my neighborhood that I was able to start that. But, then from Supergirl, Superman, and then from Superman, the Justice League, I really became a DC kind of guy. Just by chance, I picked up an anniversary Batman. I think it was actually a Detectives Comics issue. That was, there's some minor value to it. It was the first appearance of someone, and I can't remember if it was the first of Tim Drake or something. I can't remember, but yeah, that's where it started for me. And then then it was the comic book shop, and I'd give them my list, and every Wednesday I'd go and grab my pull, oh, wait a minute. I think you're referring to what Netter said here. She said, Oh, yes, yes. Netter was saying that her Action Comics #1 was stolen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was previous relationship with a very duplicitous individual. That's why they split up. But and I understand that. That was before I met her. That would not happen with us, absolutely. But yeah, it's pretty it's something. In fact, remember, and I was never a big card guy. I didn't really collect like baseball cards. But as a Star Trek fan, you remember Kivas Fajo, who kidnaps Data because he wanted to own the only Soong type android. One of the things in his collection was I want to say it was Roger Maris, a Roger Maris baseball card. And I looked into it, and yeah, it was a pretty valuable, a reasonably valuable card. Netter was able to get me one of those cards for a really good price because it was cut a little bit skewed. It wasn't perfect, so I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I have it in my collection, in my Star Trek customizable card game, with the Kivas Fajo collection behind the Roger Maris, card from the card game. But where on earth did you get an Action Comics #1, Netter? I think she got it from her brother, if I remember correctly. It was before you met Troy. I can see it now. I understand there was more of those floating around back then. Yeah, yeah, and who knows what happened to that one now? Yeah, her ex took it and pawned it, and it was lost. But yeah, those kinds of things happen, I guess. But yeah, I'm working on filling out my comic book collection, filling out my Star Trek customizable card game collection. I think eventually I've got to start thinking what I'm going to do with these collections. I don't have any kids to leave them to. I just don't know. I don't know. But oh, that's right. That's right. She says that when she was a kid, a lady her mom worked with would buy comics and give them to my mom and give to me since she didn't have kids. And that was one of them. There you go. There you go. I think I shared this story before too. I stopped collecting Marvel right around the time of the Clone Saga. Just decided I was done with it, and I gave all the only Spider-Man comics I really collected were the only Marvel comics that I collected was Spider-Man, and I had a lot of them. Amazing Web of Spectacular Peter Parker, and some spattering of titles that came up during those runs, and I had full collections for the times that I collected them, including in many cases alternate covers. Back then, alternate covers, there was only two covers. Like for example, the wedding of Peter Parker and Mary Jane. There's two covers. One is Peter and Mary Jane with their the family and friends on one side, and the well, I guess you'd call civilian villains like the Kingpin and Norman Osborn and stuff on the other side, and Spider-Man and Mary Jane with other superheroes and costume villains on the cover. And I had both of those. Also had the little advert that you got at the checkout counter at the comic book store that was like printed to look like an invitation. You were cordially invited to the wedding of Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson. Anyway, I gave all those comics and all of that, those accoutrements to a friend's son just before he went to college, because as a younger kid, when the first Spider-Man movie came out, his father wouldn't let him see it. even though he's a big Spider-Man fan from the cartoons and everything, couldn't see it because let's just say on a cold and rainy day, young kid maybe shouldn't be seeing what Mary Jane was or was not wearing. Let's just put it that way. And I understood his father's reasoning, and and I said to him, I said, look, I get it. Someday you'll be able to see this movie, but in the meantime, you'd be better off just reading comics. I don't have any comics. Let me take care of that for you, kid. Boom, here you go. Unloaded them all on him. Also, gave him all of my this one I'm kind of kicking myself for. Gave him all of my superpowers action figures. Superman, Wonder Woman, all of those. I've replaced a couple of them since then. But what he was really fired up about was I also had some of the Secret Wars figures, the 3 3/4 inch Marvel figures, including the Fantastic Four. And got a call from my buddy. He's like, hey, where did you get those figures? I said, I got them when they first came out. They're not really out there anymore. He goes, that's too bad. He said, because my daughter, the youngest, she got a hold of his Mr. Fantastic and broke it. And he was devastated, and I wanted to replace it. I said, well, let me put Netter to work on it. And Netter did her Google, found one on eBay, and got it for him. And I said, okay, here you go. But not doing this again, because this was a little costly. So don't let your sister get at it again. But didn't stop my parents from showing me Spider-Man. I actually didn't even notice what is now obvious in that rainy scene. Well, this is how my mother always thought about it too. She said, if they notice, they already know, no harm done. And if they don't notice and it goes over their head, still no harm done, right? But I also understand, a concern. It seemed a little PG-13 to him, and he wasn't quite 13 yet. And maybe when he's a little older, right? So I kind of get that. I kind of get that. Everything's pure to the pure-hearted, and if you're not pure-hearted, then you're not doing them any additional harm, right? But yeah, I mean, at the same time, as an adult, you watch that and go, yeah, I kind of see what Peter Parker saw in Mary Jane. I kind of do. He had all those amazing powers. She had at least 2 very sharp talents. Anyway, yeah. So that's that's it. So yeah, this is not always going to be the format. Just kind of shooting the breeze. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. I do have. I am planning, if not tomorrow, then Wednesday. Definitely want to have a chat about a couple of articles that I held back from Geeky Geezers, just because I didn't want to get it bogged down in politics too much. But look, you're sitting around for a liquid lunch. I could kind of see someone going off on a little bit of a political tangent. Let's talk a little bit about the cost of our franchises, the cost of our hobbies, and how they're being impacted by tariffs, and maybe do a little bit of economics 101 on the whole idea behind tariffs. Just I have a little bit of a rant. I'm going to share a little bit of without saying what YouTube channel it was, because I don't want to give anyone any negative press. Someone who had just a really crummy take on their hobby and world politics, because their world politics revolve around their hobby, apparently. I'm gonna get into it a little bit of a rant, but hopefully you want to stick with me, and maybe you'll enjoy seeing me get a little bit worked up in the middle of the workday. Tonight, members, and I think a lot of you guys that are here are members of the channel. You have probably already seen the posting for tonight's Members Night at the Movies. We're starting a little early tonight, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. We will be watching the fan edit of the Peter Jackson Hobbit trilogy, edited down into one single feature that is more representative of the actual book, The Hobbit. But it is still about a 4.5 hour movie, so that's why we're starting a little bit early. If you'd like to join us and you're not a member, consider becoming a member. It's just $2 a month. $2 a month. You know, you spend more than that probably on super chats and coffee, and you know, you can't even buy a comic book for that these days. But it would mean the world to me if you did, and then you could join us tonight. You know how we do our rewatches. You join me on YouTube, but you know, you watch over on Cosme because I'm streaming it. It is possible for you to get the fan edit, and I will tell you how tonight if you don't already have it, but it's always more convenient to just watch the Cosme stream along with me. So that's later tonight, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Let's see. And found some comics at my local Dollar Tree quarter leaf. Yeah, I know that Dollar Tree does something that comic book stores used to do. They take like random 4 comics, shrink wrap them together, and you don't always know what you're getting. It's kind of a, you know, kind of a crapshoot. You might even be getting some of the same ones over again, but it's actually a great way to get a bunch of cheap comics just to try them out. Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that. We're going to talk about that. Is Orange Man bad or just very, very shrewd? We'll talk about it. And then Curtis is showing off his membership emojis. Thank you. So tomorrow night, over on Deleted Scenes channel, live from Sparkwood and 21, I got to check my DMs and see if he got back to me about what the topic is so I can get a thumbnail up. But it's late on. Yeah. Okay. There you go. But whatever we're talking about on Live from Sparkwood and 21, it'll be David Lynch, Twin Peaks related, starting at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Unless, of course, you know, his mystery movie night stream goes a little bit late. If it does, well, you know, we'll start when we start. But and that may or may not affect right after Live from Sparkwood and 21. Last Call Presents Blake 7 returns at 9:30-ish, 9:30 Central-ish. The premiere episode of season 3, the resolution of the cliffhanger. It's called Aftermath. I mean, perfectly illustrative name. To let you know what happens to the crew of the Liberator after their fight with the invading alien forces. Those of you that have never seen this season, that don't know where the story goes from here, might be a little surprised. So you might want to really tune in. That is Tuesday. Thursday, of course, Netter is doing her Thursday things at 9 Central, 10 Eastern with special guest Curtis Selby, who will be telling us all about his new channel that he is launching. So we want to make sure we all support him as much as we can. Get that channel up and running and get it monetized, right? Because together we grow. That's where we'll be on Thursday at 9 Central, followed by Deleted Scenes Coming Attractions, where he can tell us everything he's got coming for the weekend. Friday, I'm working on a guest for Friday's Last Call. Got to check my DMs on that as well. But in fairness, I just got the inquiry out this morning, so he may not have had a chance to respond. So what we'll be talking about on Friday is still up in the air, but it's gonna be fun. There will be plenty of drinks to go around. It's always fun on Fridays. I kind of missed earlier on Friday. There is a watch party on Big Al Presents Films with Friends with deleted scenes. They will be watching Marooned, which I understand is a little bit longer watch, so they might be starting that a little bit early. Saturday's watch party on Retro Cinema on Netters Network. A movie I really love called Four Rooms. It's an independent film. 4 different directors doing 4 different stories, all set in the same hotel, tied together by a bellboy played by Tim Roth. The Last Room being directed by Quentin Tarantino. Lots of big stars. It's an all-star cast. I can't even go through it right now. One of them's a very young Aunt May, as a matter of fact. But definitely want to check that out. It's a lot of fun. And I may or may not be appearing on Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips this Saturday afternoon. He's doing a watch party of Star Wars Episode 1. I think he said Episode 1. Yeah, the one with Jake Lloyd, I think. And we'll see. I don't know for sure. I don't know if I've... I really cut it close last Saturday doing the Tron rewatch, and then immediately to Retro Blasting for his after party there. By the way, go check out Retro Blasting's recent release, his video on Rogue One and the story that might have been, and his love-hate relationship with Rogue One. It's a great story, especially if you care about behind-the-scenes sorts of things, how movies get made, from script to screen type stuff, rewrites, what happens when a director is replaced, and how we could have gotten a very different Rogue One in a different universe. There he is. We were just talking about you, Big Al. We were telling everyone about to check out your Films with Friends on Friday for Marooned with deleted scenes. And definitely check out over on Big Al Presents. He's got a lot of great reviews, including one. Oh, I'm forgetting the name of it. Something about Squatch Nation, or Squatch something or other. And he's also got one for the Thunderbolts, I do believe. I haven't gotten around to seeing it myself, but I will be checking it out here myself in the very near future. And then, of course, that brings us around to Sunday with Geeky Geezers. I've already started putting together some articles for that. Expect to see the Squatch. Wait, what's it called? The Squatchers. Okay, there you go. He's got a review up for that. I can just imagine what that's like. I am curious. It's got me curious. You're going to be seeing a lot of clips from Geeky Geezers coming. I've got 3 weeks worth of Geeky Geezers. Well, now after last night, 4. So I'm going to be shooting out a bunch of clips at you. It's a great way to get caught up if you weren't there for the live streams. Angelus, welcome. Thunderbolts. I hear it was rebranded New Avengers. Well, check out Big Al's review on it. See what he had to say about it. I can't speak to it. Haven't seen it. Wasn't planning to. I will see Big Al's review of it, and maybe it will influence me one way or the other. But no offense, Big Al, but I kind of doubt it. Even if you did give it a really good review, I'm probably still not going to see it. Or if I did, I'm probably not going to pay to see it. But that's just where I am with Disney right now. But that is that. Oh, getting the last minute people in here. Can't stay long. I'm on my lunch break at work. But what's up? Yeah, well, we're just wrapping it up. Actually, Nate, you might want to actually even go back to the beginning and watch what you missed. Or if you can't during your lunch, you can always catch it afterwards. Super appreciate all of you guys. This is going to be a daily thing. So if you want to, oh gosh, he's even dropping some change on me. Thank you so much, my friends. For $2, he says, "What's up, brother?" Yeah, it's, I just spent an hour talking about what's up. But I do thank you for that. I do thank you for the support. We will be here every noonday, every noontime during the week, because it's a liquid lunch. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, this you got to have some solids, right? So thank you so much, guys. Hope to see you on the next one. Take care. And we'll see if the outro actually plays. Evie Mucks work with me here.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.